Hi, my name is Wayne Larson. I'm delighted to be with you to share today. I serve as the chaplain at Fairhaven in Sykesville, Maryland, but also I serve as a senior chaplain for the Chesapeake region. When I graduated from high school many years ago, I was able to attend a college in Seattle, Washington. When I moved to Seattle from the Midwest, I was amazed at the beauty of the Northwest, especially the mountains and the trees. It was so different from where I came from, the northern flat plains of Iowa, where one could see corn and bean fields that would go on to miles. Moving to Seattle was very inspiring and reminded me of God's good creation. One might sense the presence of God in a very special way when one would walk through a forest that would resemble a great cathedral with the sunlight streaming through the trees. Or when one would look over the green valley and would marvel at the beauty of God's creation. I recall the excitement of first seeing the Cascade Mountains from my dorm window, truly appreciating its majesty. And yet, when living in Seattle, you know that there is a rainy season, and the mountains are not always visible, especially in the winter months. What I discovered, of course, was that the frequent rain in Seattle and the fog would obscure my view. When I'd wake up in the morning and look out my window, frequently, or most frequently, I would barely see more than 20 feet away, let alone not see the Cascades. Yet, regardless of whether I could see the Cascades or not, they were still there. The rains had not washed them away overnight, and the mountains had not moved. And as one knows in Seattle, that regardless of how much rainy the weather is, frequently in the last 2 hours of the day of sunlight, the clouds will often break up and the sun will peek through, and one is able to see clearly the mountain ranges in the distance. The psalmist often used example of nature to point to our relationship with God. God is our rock and our salvation. Whom shall I fear? The psalmist uses various imagery of peaks and valleys to describe our lives. The psalmist describes well the joys as well as the struggles of our faith journey, the ups and downs, the times when God's presence is most evident, and the other times when life circumstances seem to obscure and cloud our view of God. St. John of the Cross describes this mystery in his writings, Dark Night of the Soul, the mysterious absence of God that we sense at times. And yet the psalmist proclaims in Psalms 121, knowing that while similar to the Cascade Mountains that I used to see and at times be obscured by those clouds, I lift up my eyes into the hills. From where is my help to come? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. As a believer, I do trust that God is ever faithful. And whatever we encounter in life, the great blessings as well as the challenges, the Lord indeed is with us always.